My wife said my ex is joining us for Christmas dinner. Be mature about it. I nodded. Of course. What she didn't know was I invited her ex's fiancé to the dinner table. Turned into a scene nobody in my family will ever forget. I'm Ethan, 29, and I've been married to my wife Emily for 3 years. This Christmas was supposed to be like every other. My parents hosting my sister and her kids, running around, good food, the usual family chaos, until 2 weeks before the holiday when Emily dropped a bomb that changed everything. We were in the kitchen on a Tuesday night. I was making pasta. She was scrolling through her phone and out of nowhere she said, "So I invited James to Christmas dinner at your parents' place." I stopped stirring. "James, your ex?" "James, yeah," she said casually, not even looking up. "He's going through a rough time and doesn't have family in the area. I thought it would be nice." Let me give you context. James is Emily's ex-boyfriend from college. They dated for 3 years, broke up about 6 months before she and I met. She's always maintained they're just friends and their relationship ended mutually. I've met James twice, once at a barbecue 2 years ago and once at a charity event last spring. Both times he was polite but had this weird energy around Emily, like they shared inside jokes. "I wasn't part of you invited your ex to my family's Christmas dinner without asking me first," I said slowly. She finally looked up. "Ethan, don't be insecure about this. James and I are friends, that's it. And before you start, yes, I already told your mom and she said it was fine." That part stung. She'd gone to my mother before me. "When did you talk to my mom?" "Yesterday. I called her to ask if we could bring an extra guest and explain the situation. She was totally understanding." I felt my jaw tighten. "Emily, that's not the point. You should have asked me first. It's weird to invite an ex to a family holiday. It's only weird if you make it weird," she said, her tone sharper. "James is going through a breakup and I'm being a good friend. I need you to be mature about this." There it was, the "be mature" line, like I was a child throwing a tantrum instead of a husband whose wife made a unilateral decision about our holiday plans. "Fine," I said, "he can come." She smiled. "Thank you. I knew you'd understand." I didn't understand, not even a little, but I nodded and went back to stirring pasta while my brain worked overtime. That night after Emily went to bed I did something I'm not proud of but don't regret. I went through her phone. I know, invasion of privacy, breach of trust, all that, but something felt off and I needed to know if my gut was right. What I found was worse than I expected. Emily and James had been texting constantly, multiple times a day for 2 months. Nothing explicitly inappropriate, but the tone was too familiar. Lots of inside jokes, lots of "remember when" messages, lots of her complaining about me. One message from 3 weeks ago made my blood boil. "I miss what we had. Things were simpler." And her response, "I no, sometimes I wonder what would have happened if we tried harder." I took screenshots, sent them to myself, deleted the evidence the next day. I did some digging. Turns out James hadn't gone through a breakup. He'd gotten engaged 4 months ago. I found his fiancée's Instagram easily. Her name was Rachel and she seemed nice. Lots of photos of her and James hiking at restaurants looking happy. There was a Thanksgiving photo with the caption, "Grateful for this man and our future together." So Emily had lied. James wasn't going through a rough time, and if Rachel didn't know her fiancé was spending Christmas with his ex-girlfriend, that seemed like information she deserved. I created a burner Instagram account and sent Rachel a DM, kept it simple and factual. "Hi Rachel, you don't know me, but I'm married to James's ex-girlfriend Emily. She invited him to spend Christmas with our family and I thought you should know since from your posts it seems you two are engaged. If you want to talk, here's my number." She messaged back within an hour. We moved to text. She had no idea James was spending Christmas with Emily. In fact, James told her he was going to a work colleague's holiday party. Rachel was upset but grateful I'd reached out. We talked for about 30 minutes and by the end I'd invited her to Christmas dinner too. "Are you sure?" she asked. "Won't that be awkward?" "Probably," I said, "but I'm tired of being lied to and I think we both deserve to know what's going on." She agreed. The next week was normal on the surface. Emily talked about Christmas plans, what dishes we should bring, whether we should exchange gifts with James. That last part almost made me laugh. I nodded along, playing the mature husband she wanted me to be. Christmas Eve, Emily was in a great mood. She kept texting James about timing and logistics. I heard her on the phone with him that night confirming he'd arrive at my parents' house around 2 p.m. She was practically giddy. Christmas morning, we opened presents at home before heading to my parents' place. Emily got me a watch I'd mentioned months ago. I got her a necklace. We smiled, kissed, pretended everything was fine. We arrived at my parents' house around 1 p.m. My mom had gone all out, full turkey spread, 3 types of potatoes, green beans, rolls, pies. My dad was watching football. My sister Anna was wrangling her 2 kids. It felt normal, warm, and I almost felt guilty for what I was about to do. Almost. James showed up at 2:15 p.m. He brought wine and a charm that made my mom love him immediately. Emily lit up when he walked in, gave him a hug that lasted 3 seconds too long. I shook his hand firmly, smiled, said, "Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me." He said, "I really appreciate it." We settled into the living room. James fit right in, laughing at my dad's jokes, asking Anna about her kids. Emily kept finding excuses to sit next to him, touch his arm. When she laughed I watched with a calm I didn't feel. At 2:45 p.m. the doorbell rang. "I'll get it," I said, standing quickly. I opened the door to find Rachel in a red sweater holding a bottle of wine, looking nervous but determined. "You must be Ethan," she said. "Rachel," I said warmly. "Thanks for coming. Come on in." I led her into the living room. The reaction was instantaneous. Emily's face went white. James stood so fast he knocked over his beer. "Rachel," he said, his voice cracking, "what are you doing here?" "I was invited," Rachel said calmly, looking at me. "Ethan was kind enough to include Me when he heard you'd be spending Christmas with your ex-girlfriend. The room went silent. My mom looked confused. My dad muted the TV. Anna's eyes went wide. Ethan, Emily said slowly, standing. What is this? This is Rachel, I said pleasantly. James's fiancée. James the first. Don't think you mentioned to Rachel you were spending Christmas with Emily. And Emily, I don't think you mentioned to me James is engaged, so I thought we should all spend the holiday together. You know, be mature about it. I used her words. Her exact words. James looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Rachel, I can explain. Explain what? Rachel said, her voice shaking. Now explain why you told me you were going to a work party. Explain why you're spending Christmas with your ex-girlfriend without telling me. Explain why Ethan had to be the one to tell me what you were doing. It's not like that. James started. A cozy family living room decorated for Christmas, warm yellow lighting, a large Christmas tree with red and gold ornaments, wrapped gifts underneath, and a festive dining table visible in the background with candles and a turkey dish. The atmosphere is cheerful but slightly tense, hinting at the drama about to unfold. I wasn't going through anything. Emily snapped at him. What are you talking about? And just like that, their stories fell apart. James claimed Emily needed emotional support. Emily claimed James was going through a hard time. Neither story matched what they'd told others. They were both lying and they'd been caught. Rachel looked at James with disgust. We're done, completely done. Don't come home tonight. Don't call me. I'll have my brother pack your stuff. She turned to me. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry. I came to your family's Christmas, but I'm glad I know the truth. You're welcome to stay for dinner if you want, my mom said quietly, and I loved her for that. Rachel shook her head. I think I need to go, but thank you. She left. James stood frozen for a moment, then grabbed his coat and followed her out without a word. The door closed. Emily stared at me with fury and humiliation. I want a divorce, I said before she could speak. I've already contacted a lawyer. You can stay at your sister's place until we figure out living arrangements. Ethan, she started. No, I interrupted. You brought your ex to my family's Christmas. You lied to me about why you've been emotionally cheating for months. You made me feel crazy for being uncomfortable. So no, we're done. She looked around the room at my parents, at Anna, at the dinner table set for a holiday now ruined, and I watched her realize she had no allies here. She grabbed her purse and left without a word. Christmas dinner was awkward, but we got through it. My mom kept apologizing for not asking more questions when Emily called about bringing James. My dad said I'd handled it well. Anna told me the video had been shared with our extended family group chat and everyone was on my side. I stayed at my parents' house that night. Emily texted me 17 times, angry, apologetic, pleading. I responded to one. Talk to my lawyer. The next day I went back to our apartment with my dad and brother-in-law to pack essentials. Emily wasn't there, but she'd left a note on the counter. I'm sorry, I never meant for this to happen. Can we please talk? I threw the note away. A week later I met with my lawyer. I had the screenshots from Emily's phone which my lawyer said would be helpful. I also had documentation showing I'd paid for most of our shared expenses which mattered for asset division. Emily moved in with her sister. She tried reaching out through mutual friends asking them to convince me to give her another chance. Most friends sided with me once they heard the full story. A few said I'd been dramatic with the Christmas ambush, but I don't care. Rachel reached out a few days after Christmas. She thanked me again and confirmed she'd broken off the engagement. James tried to claim nothing physical happened with Emily, but the emotional affair was enough for her. She dodged a bullet, and so had I. James lost it after the breakup. According to mutual friends, he blamed Emily for ruining his relationship and Emily blamed him for ruining her marriage. They're both right. It's been 2 months since Christmas. The divorce is moving smoothly because Emily doesn't want to fight it. I think she's embarrassed and wants it over. We're selling the apartment and splitting assets 60-40 in my favor since I paid for most of it. I've been staying with my parents while I look for a new place. It's been good. Lots of family dinners, game nights with my sister, quiet time to process. Emily sent a long email last week. She apologized for everything, said she'd been confused, made terrible choices, never physically cheated, but understood why I felt betrayed. She asked if someday we could be friends. I didn't respond. Maybe someday I'll feel differently, but right now I just want her out of my life. Rachel and I got coffee last week. Not romantic, just two people who went through similar betrayals, comparing notes. She's doing well, starting therapy, focusing on herself. She thanked me again for reaching out, said if I'd stayed quiet she might have married someone who'd keep choosing his ex over her. As for me, I'm doing okay. Some days are harder. I miss being married, but not being married to someone who didn't respect me. My family keeps joking I won Christmas, and they're not wrong. That dinner table scene will be talked about for years. My mom already said next Christmas I get to approve all guests. People keep asking if I feel bad about ambushing them on Christmas. Honestly, no. They chose to lie and sneak around. I just chose when the truth came out. If they didn't want to be embarrassed in front of family, they shouldn't have done embarrassing things. Anna's video didn't go viral, but it's been shared around our extended family and friend groups. Emily's mortified. James deleted all his social media. Rachel's living her best life from what I see on Instagram. Someone asked what my dad said when it went down after Emily left. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Son, that was the most interesting Christmas we've ever had." Well done. Coming from my dad, that's basically a standing ovation.